share the same last name. This is Brian McCoy. This is my younger brother. Brian, he's a financial advisor currently, but Brian is a very influential, motivational person, and right now he's actually going in the direction of doing this a little bit more often: public speaking, motivational speaking, inspirational speaking, and right now the target is the youth. So I'm not going to sit up here and run my mouth about Brian. I'm going to let him do that. Brian is the guest speaker, and I just would like to introduce my younger brother. This is Brian McCoy.
Thank you, everyone. Actually, that wasn't a technical difficulty. That was all done on purpose. It's actually a great metaphor and a great lesson for life, because you can have the best of intentions. You can have the best of intentions, want everything to go well, but there's just going to be times in life when it just doesn't. But life, just like the show, it must go on. According to Dr. A.P. Gauthier, make no mistake, my friends, it takes more than money to make men rich. Again, my name is Brian McCoy. I'm a financial advisor with one of the largest wealth management firms in the world. I was born and raised right here in Yonkers, New York. I attended Gordon High School right up the hill. After Gordon High School, I attended Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia. And after Hampton, when I look back, it's been about 20 years since I've sat in the seat that the recipients are sitting in as freshmen in college and going to college. And I, just like you, had heard a ton of speeches. High school commencement speech, the welcome to college speech. And as I look back, I don't remember any of the speakers who spoke, and I certainly don't remember anything that any of them said. And as I was preparing my words for today, what dawned on me is that I probably didn't listen to anything that they said because I was too busy daydreaming about how rich I was about to get. I was too busy thinking about how much money I was going to make. So no matter how great the lessons, how great the information that was being presented to me, it all went over my head because I was focusing on money. And what I come to realize was that I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be ridiculous rich. I wanted to be, I'm talking 175-foot yacht with the heliport on top. I'm talking the private islands, private jet. I'm talking $13 million mansions spread out throughout Connecticut kind of rich. $750 million net worth rich. It was all I wanted. It was all I ever thought about. It was all I ever dreamed about. It was the only thing that meant anything to me, was getting rich. And so after I left Hampton, my mission was clear. Only thing I wanted to do was get back to New York, and I wanted to get rich. So as soon as I left Hampton, I made a beeline straight for Wall Street. I went, and what I realized was that, you know, it's getting rich or accomplishing anything is a lot more than just showing up saying, I'm here and I want to be rich. So when I got there, there is a number of tests. In order to sell stocks or bonds or mutual funds, there's a number of tests that you have to take. It's called, one of them is, it's called the Series 7, 63, 24. So I passed this battery of tests, and after I passed the tests, what they were presented to me as being some of the most difficult tests in the country at the time. But it meant nothing to me. Those tests were nothing for my ambition. I wanted it, and it was all I wanted. So I passed the tests, I rolled up my sleeves, and I got to work. I started building a financial services practice. And everything was going great. Everything was going great. I started, as little as it was at the time, I started making money from the business. I made a few tweaks, made a few changes, and things really started to pick up. Things started going fairly well. My wife and I, we bought our first home in Connecticut. I was 28 years old. Things were going so well that as shortly after we moved in, my wife got pregnant. And I can't even imagine how why were these amazing things happening to me? Everything was going great. A month after, shortly after, a few months later, my wife gave birth to our daughter. We named her Brianna McCoy. When Brianna was born, she was born with a severe seizure disorder. She passed away when she was 19 months old. It was at that point that I looked at what I was focusing on, and I made a determination that even if I had $750 million in the bank while she was sick, none of it would have helped to save her life. I determined that even if I had $750 million in my pocket right now, if I had a 175-foot yacht, I would trade it all in anyway just to get her back. What I've come to realize is that the best things in life aren't things at all. So it was at that point that, and we actually had her a funeral a few months later, and a few days later, and people were asking, you know, is there anything that we can do to help? Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to help. And I delivered my daughter's eulogy. And while I was delivering the eulogy, I turned around and I looked back at my daughter in her casket, and I remember thinking to myself, my daughter could have been an attorney, she could have been an astronaut, she could have cured cancer, she could have been a civil rights attorney, she could have made amazing contributions to the world, but her brain didn't work properly. So as I was looking out in the audience of everyone at the funeral, I said, you know what, there is something that you can do. For every person out there that has a working brain, for everyone out there that has a beating heart and working lungs, the next time you find yourself complacent, maybe the next time you find yourself a little lazy, maybe the next time you find yourself being negative or bitter or actually complaining about life, consider the fact that for all intents and purposes, if you're not going to be using your working brain, for all intents and purposes, you might as well be in that casket. My daughter could have your working brain, and she could have went on to cure cancer. She could have went on to do amazing things if she only had your working brain. The point at which all of this started to take place, my focus shifted from making money to trying to make a difference, to contributing to the world, to try to make the world a better place to live. And I suppose the message that I walked away from that whole my daughter's funeral with is be very careful what you take for granted, because what you've been granted can be taken. At that point, I decided that, like I said, my life would become about making a difference. So I suppose the purpose in my being here today is to encourage everyone here to focus on making a difference, focus on chasing your dream instead of chasing a dollar. Now, I know that I'm standing here and I'm asking everyone to change the world, to try to make a difference, to improve the world. Now, I know that's not an easy task. You don't just up and change the world one day, but you do. Little by little, each one of us making a contribution. But in terms of changing the world, there are a few lessons that I've learned in the financial services industry over the last 15 years that we can all use as tools to help us along our journey, should you guys decide you want to change the world one day. So, if you've made that decision that you want to change the world, I'd like to share with you very quickly 5 tools that you can use along your journey. The very first tool is, please do not be afraid to fail. In my business, when I first started, I would make 700, 800, 900 phone calls a day just to get one person to say yes. That means that 500 or 600 people would tell me no. I had 500 or 600 doors slammed in my face, 500 or 600 phones hung up on me. But all I was looking for was one yes. If I can leave you with nothing else, it's your greatest success will come after failure. You will fail your way to success. So if you're going to change the world, if you've decided you're going to change the world, please do not be afraid to fail. The second tool that you're going to need on the journey to changing the world, follow the straight line to success. And what that means is when I first started in the business, there was a sales model, it's called the straight line. And what that is from your introduction until your close. That's the close is where you ask for what you want. So from that introduction to the close, the phone call goes in a straight line. And if the person you're talking to starts deviating and they're talking about the Mets or the Yankees, it's your job to bring the phone call back to the straight line. What I'm asking you guys to do is draw a straight line from where you stand right now. Define your goals and what you're looking to accomplish. And walk that straight line. Along the way, there are going to be mishaps. There are going to be tragedies. There are going to be all sorts of things that go terribly wrong. It's your job to bring your life back to that straight line and keep walking until you make it to your destination. If you're going to change the world, develop a straight line, draw a straight line from where you stand now to where you're looking to go. And never, ever, ever deviate from that straight line. Nothing should take you away from those goals. The third tool that I want to share with you is you cannot drive forward while looking in your rear view mirror. What that means is along the years that I've been in this business, I've come across a lot of people that maybe didn't come from the best neighborhoods. Maybe their home lives weren't the best. They didn't come from money. A lot of people that I know failed in other businesses and started in financial services. The point that I'm trying to make is that when it comes to your success in any endeavor, your past failures do not matter. The neighborhood you came from does not matter. The times that you've been hurt, the disappointments of the past, they do not matter. When it comes to your success, the only thing that's going to matter is how hungry, how determined, how focused, and how driven you are to succeed. The only thing that's going to matter is how bad do you want to succeed. You cannot drive forward while looking in your rear view mirror. If you're going to look in the rear view mirror, take a quick glance just to see how far you've come. But do not get stuck, do not get tethered to events in the past. The fourth tool that I'd like to share with you is something called do not become a victim of what's called analysis paralysis. What analysis paralysis is there'll be times that you have a prospect on the phone that you're looking to do business with, and you're so busy planning, you're so busy saying, well, should I call him in the morning or should I call him in the afternoon? Should I say hi or should I say hello? You're doing everything except for taking action. When you overanalyze, what you're doing is essentially nothing. If you're going to change the world, it's going to require action on your part. And it's going to require immediate action. So don't overanalyze any situation. Aggressively attack your goals. Start today and act now. The last and final tool that I'd like to share with you, it was called what you call buy or die. What that meant is when you got a prospect on the telephone, no matter how rude the person was to you, no matter how disrespectful, no matter what they said, no matter how many questions they asked, you did not hang up that phone first. In other words, you do not give up under any circumstances, no matter what's said, no matter how many pitfalls, no matter how many rejections, you do not give up. Along the way to your goals, there are going to be obstacles, there are going to be roadblocks, there are going to be all sorts of disappointments, hurts, and losses. But under no circumstances, anyone looking to be an attorney, anyone looking to be a teacher, under no circumstances do you give up on your goals or your dreams. Come what may, you keep going. So, for those who've decided that they are going to make a change in this world, they're going to become a doctor, a teacher, an attorney, a franchise owner, whatever it is that you're going to do to make a difference in this world, just utilize those tools. Don't worry about looking in the rearview mirror. Keep going. Don't be paralyzed by analysis. Make sure that you keep going no matter what. And what you're going to do, what will happen is you're going to look up, and your children and your children's children will have a better world to live in. But what's more is once you put your heart and your soul into making something, into doing something and making something, what you're going to find is that very money that you were chasing will start to chase you if you put your heart and soul into it. I would personally like to thank everyone that's in attendance for today, in attendance today, and the support that was shown to the award recipients. I'd like to thank the brothers of the LVG Masonic Lodge, the Luther V. Garrison Masonic Lodge, for providing the students with the fuel that they need to change the world. And more importantly, I'd like to thank the students and the award recipients themselves. On behalf of myself, my family, on behalf of everyone in the room, I want to thank you guys for creating a better world for all of us to live in. I'd like to leave you with just one quote from Apple founder Steve Jobs. The people in this world who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both right. The question is, what do you say? Please.
Brian, thank you. That was very inspirational. Thank you very much. I didn't know about early years, and my heart goes out to you. Thank God every day that we're allowed to get up and have our functionality and see everyone. So, thank you. And I hope you scholars heard what he said. You are here. We are here to support you. You are our future. You will change the world. So make sure that you guys do what you have to do as far as each career that you're going to strive for, to invest in.